I can't believe that we're at the point where I have to make this video, but let's get something straight for all you conservatives, okay? Canada is not a communist country. It is not on the path to communism, and Mark Carney is not a communist. And if you truly believe any of those things, then either you don't know what communism is, or you're just regurgitating talking points that you picked up from someone's angry Facebook rant, okay? Either way, it's time for a giant reality check. I was born and raised in Romania. You know, a real communist country, not the cartoon version where somebody tells you to wear a mask during a pandemic and suddenly it's Stalinist Russia. No, I'm talking about the kind of regime where you didn't have free speech, where the government could make you disappear, where criticizing the state wasn't edgy, it was dangerous, okay? We stood in bread lines, we whispered in fear, and we waited for the regime to collapse. That's what communism looks like. Now let's look at Canada. Here, you can walk around down the street with a "Fuck Trudeau" flag and no one's gonna arrest you. You can plaster your car with anti-government bumper stickers and scream about globalist elites online and tell the Prime Minister to resign without fearing for your life. That's not oppression. That's freedom. Real freedom. And before you bring up the Freedom Convoy, let's unpack that too, because I know that that's one of the things y'all love to cling to. Okay, protest? Totally legal. People did protest for weeks. They blared horns every day and night, camped out in Ottawa, disrupted businesses, harassed residents, and blocked critical trade routes at borders, okay? The government waited. Law enforcement hesitated. No one was immediately thrown in jail for showing up, but when your protest turns into an illegal occupation of a national capital, when it becomes impossible for people to go to work or sleep in peace, then yeah, the government has to step in. That's not communism. That's basic law and order in a functioning democracy. You don't get to block cities indefinitely and then cry about tyranny when the grow-ups show up to clear it out. And ironically, the only reason that you can even hold a protest that big, that loud, and that disruptive is because Canada is so damn free. Try pulling that stunt in China or North Korea or hell, in the Romania that I grew up in, okay? You would vanish before the first honk started blaring. So let's just cut the nonsense, okay? Universal healthcare is not communism. Climate action is not communism. Regulating billionaires and corporations is not communism. Taxes, social services, public education, those are not signs of tyranny. They're signs of a society that's trying to take care of its people. You may not like how it's done, but disliking policy doesn't mean that you're living under dictatorship. This whole Canada is communist talking point from conservatives isn't even Canadian. It's a cheap import from far-right American politics where every public service is labeled tyranny and every, election that they don't like is called rigged. That's just what happens when conspiracy culture and anti-intellectualism go mainstream. And now it's being used here to smear everyone who doesn't toe the hard right line, even if those people are lifelong capitalists who just believe in climate action or financial regulation. Me and my family came to Canada because it's so free. Freer than anywhere else in the world we've ever lived. And I don't have to whisper here. I don't have to censor my opinions. I can live and work and speak openly. So when somebody calls this country a communist regime, I genuinely take that personally. Because people in actual communist regimes don't get to tweet about how their government sucks. They don't get to fly a "fuck the Prime Minister" flag without consequences. And they sure as hell don't get to stage a weeks-long city occupation with police politely asking them to leave. Let's be real. The only political movement in this country that's even flirting with authoritarianism isn't the Liberals. It's the far right. The ones that are waving Canada First flags and demonizing the media and cozying up to conspiracy theorists and constantly trying to discredit our democratic systems. You want to talk about losing freedoms? Look at the people attacking women's rights, LGBTQ rights, immigrants, journalists, and public health care. That's where the danger lies. Not with Justin Trudeau or Chrystia Freeland, and definitely not with Mark Carney. So the next time that somebody tells you that Canada is a communist country, ask them this. If it's so oppressive, why are you still free to say that out loud? Because in a real communist country, you wouldn't be.